of equations were we solving? What was the new topic? I just erased it on the board if anybody was paying attention before class and they walked in. Nina? Yeah, that's literal equations. All right, yeah. So we're solving a literal equation. What is that? Go ahead, Sebastian.
An equation, but it's literal.
Yeah, what does that mean? It's literal.
It's literal.
Literally, dude. What?
What can I do with literal equation?
Okay, what were they? What type of equations? How are they different than the other ones we've been solving?
I don't know.
What'd they have? A variable, an equal sign. It could have parentheses. But all the equations we've been solving had a variable. What equations? Yeah, Anthony? Variables. Okay, hold on. It doesn't need to be on both sides, but there's different variables. So yeah, we solved equations that had a variable, just linear equations. We solved equations that had variables on both sides. And now we're solving equations that have multiple variables. So I have to give you a specific variable to solve for. Solve for x. And we can have something like this. 6y minus x equals 5. And now what we want to do is isolate this variable. We want to isolate x. So we need to undo the operations that are being performed on x. What's going on right here? What's going on right here in front of this x? What operation is that? To the x. What's going on to x and that? What number's in front of the x?
1.
What?
1.
No.
-1.
A -1. What are we doing with that -1 in the x?
Subtracting or adding.
If I write this, what's going on right there?
Multiplication.
That's multiplication. -1x is -1 times x. So we need to undo that multiplication. What's going on right here?
61.
What's going on with that 6x? What are we doing with the x and the 6y? What's going on with that x and 6y? What operation's going on over there? We're multiplying x by 6y? What are we doing with that 6y and the x? If I was going to rewrite this equation, it would look like this. -x plus 6y equals 5. What's going on with the 6y? What's going on with the 6y? Oh, that was actually pretty sick.
What happened?
I hit the thing and the final boom and landed right on your desk. If you were paying attention, you could have just went. What's going on here? What is this? Hold on, let me look again. Addition, very good. We're adding 6y to it. Okay, so we need to undo the multiplication and we need to undo the addition. Which one do we undo first? So which one do we undo first? We're going to add or subtract something to the other side. What are we going to add or subtract? We're trying to get x by itself. I'm not going to move x. What are we going to move? Can't combine them. They're not like terms. Can only combine like terms. Brandon?
Move the 5.
The 5's already over there. I want to keep the x over here and get everything else over there. Okay. Sebastian.
Yes. Subtract 6y.
Yeah. That 6y gets moved over. We just showed you it was -x plus 6y equals 5. If it's a plus 6y, how do we get it to the other side? You subtract 6y from both sides. So now we're left with -x equals, we can either write 5 minus 6y, or we can write -6y plus 5. Now, we still have to undo the multiplication or division. We're multiplying by a -1. How do we get rid of this -1 that's inside, that's right there in front of the x? Phase? We can't add it. What's the opposite of multiplication? Okay, so what are we going to divide by? We're not multiplying by, we can't divide by x. We have an x there. We need to leave the x. What's in front of it? So what are we dividing by? Divided by -1. Divide the left side, divide the right side. Dividing by a -1 just changes the signs on everything. So this is x, that becomes -5, and this now becomes a +6y. This is our answer. We solve for x. X is isolated. I said x and isolated at the same time. X is isolated. It's by itself. We solve for that variable by undoing what's happening to it. Let's do another problem that's just like it. Number 2. Now we're going to solve for y. Which means if we're solving for y, everything's going to be gone from this side except for the y. What are we moving first? What are we moving? Oh, okay, sorry. What are we moving first? Phase. What's that? So we want to, if we were solving for x, we'd get the y on the other side. We want to leave this one here. So you're right, we're subtracting, but what are we subtracting? If I move the 3y over here, that doesn't help me anything. I'm not getting the y by itself. I'm not undoing anything that's happening to the y. I want to move the other stuff out of here. Like, how would I get this 9x out of here? Yeah, right. That's what we're going to subtract, right? Again, first thing, add or subtract something to the other side. We're adding a 9x. So undo it. Minus 9x. Minus 9x. Subtract 9x from both sides. Now we've got a 3y on the left, and on the right, we've got a -12 minus 9x. Wait, can we combine those? No, why not? Yeah, they're not like terms, right? One has a variable. Very good. All right, we still got to get rid of the 3. We already added and subtracted. Time to multiply and divide. Isa?
I'm just going to ask the other candidate.
No.
Okay.
I'm asking what we divide by, though.
I don't know.
Brandon?
Divide 3.
It's 3 times y. Divide by 3. So we get y equals. Now, we could write our answer like this. -12 minus 9x over 3. But this is like the distributive property. You know how in the distributive property you multiply both terms by that number? Well, in this one, we're going to divide both terms by that number. -12 divided by 3. -4. What's -9 divided by 3? There's a -3x there. Good. So this is our final answer there. Y is by itself. Over here we were solving for x. X is by itself. All right? Okay, let's review the one that we had a fraction that has fractions. We did one of these on Wednesday. So if we've got a fraction, let's say we have like volume equals 1/3 the area of the base times the height. That's the formula for volume. I want to get a capital B by itself. Solve B. solve for b. So now, if we're solving for b, we want this by itself. We need to get rid of the fraction, and we need to get rid of the h. What do you want to do first? Go ahead, Sebastian. Everyone else is scared of fractions.
You first multiply by 3.
Yeah, right? To get rid of a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. Dividing by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So we're going to multiply this side by 3 over 1, which is just 3. Then we also have to multiply this side by 3 over 1, which is just 3. Now, the reason we did it on the right is to get rid of it. It's gone. We're left with a capital B and an H. On the left, we have 3 times V. 3V. Okay? This is V. Wait, well, you tell me. What operation is going on here? What is this? BH. What is this? What's going on here? What operation is this? What's the help? Nina. That's multiplying. How do you undo multiplying? Divide. Hannah, what are we dividing by?
We're dividing by h.
Right. We don't want the h there, so we divide by h. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other side. The reason we did it on the right is to get rid of it. It's gone. We've got a capital B. On the left, that's what we have. That's it. 3V over H. We got capital B by itself. That's what we wanted. We moved everything to the other side. Okay, so we isolated a different variable. Armand.
Could you write 3v plus h?
No. We're not adding it to the other side. We're dividing it. Okay, it has to be whatever operation we're doing. All right, we're going to go on. We're going to take out our Chromebooks now, and I have it's called 3.5 puzzles, and it's we're going to do 2 from each. We're going to do total 6 problems. We're going to try to do total 6 problems. We're going to do 2 from each level. There's 3 different levels. We're going to do 2 from each level. So pick any 2 from each level and try to solve those.